What's good, HODL fam? Welcome back. Next episode of the story behind the project. Today we're gonna talk about Deadfellaz. Button, you're part of the horde and excited about Deadfellaz. So why don't you get started and tell a little bit more about the founders?
Absolutely. Yeah, the Deadfellaz is an amazing community started by two incredible creators in the space. The first one that you see right there on the screen is called Betty. She's more of the strategy person, the person behind the brand of what Deadfellaz is. And then she's also working with an individual called Psych, who's primarily the artist. And they both had a passion for NFTs. She's out of Australia. She's a mom. She's excited about NFTs, and they wanted to build something that just can't be built in Web 2. And so they created the PFP project called Deadfellaz, which enabled people to join what they call the Horde, which is their community, which has an online aspect to it as well as an in real life aspect to it. Kucho, why don't you explain a little bit more about the Deadfellaz?
Yeah, let's have a look. So this is the collection. There are 10,000 NFTs in the Deadfellaz collection. It minted in September of 21. And yeah, what I love about the Deadfellaz is, on one hand, I mean, just scrolling through, you can see that each of them is super unique. So not one Deadfella looks alike than another. Another one that I think is really cool is that they are all gender neutral. It was really important for Betty and Psych that they don't define like male or female Deadfellas. So I think that's something that they've done really well, is that each of them really is gender neutral. And yeah, just if you look at the art style, I mean, you can see they are all, it's like a collection of undeads. And again, I just love like this style with like the tattoos, stills, and yeah, it's pretty sick.
Yeah, they
So
definitely stand out as one of a kind. If you see a dead fella, you know that's a dead fella, which is something I really appreciate about the collection.
exactly. And so this is their primary collection, and they also came up with a secondary collection, their ecosystem. This collection is called Deadfrenz. Button, tell us more about how that came about and share some details about the collection.
Absolutely. So, of the 10,000 dead fellas, every single dead fellow was able to get a Deadfrenz access pass, which is basically an NFT that enables you to convert it into one of your friends. And these friends are kind of like pets, but they're like zombie pets. And there's a variety of different species. There's 13,000 different dead friends, and there's 1,000 of each species. So we have, as you can see, we have a variety being displayed from a snake to a bat to a raven to a frog. There's even a rabbit, and then they even have hybrids, which animals that technically don't exist, but it would be a blend of two different animals coming together. And those, because they're more rare, they do go for a higher price point. But as you can see, these are actually like a really easy way to get access into the community at a very accessible price for many, compared to a lot of well-known Web3 PFP projects currently. You could get in for less than a couple $100, and by having access into their Discord, and it enables you to join the conversation, and furthermore, perhaps get an opportunity to join in some of their in real life events, which they have been hosting quite a few. But by far, the most impressive one that I've ever seen was out of New York City during NFT NYC in Brooklyn. Kucho, do you want to explain a little bit about their in real life events?
Yes, I mean, they threw like one of the top events during NFT NYC. So I'm just gonna play the video here. So I mean, it was sick, and everyone, you had to own either a Dead Fella or a Dead Friends. Both got your access to the party, and yeah, it was Dead Mouse playing. They actually had like a tattoo artist there, so if you wanted to, you could get your Dead Fella tattooed on you, which I think is really cool. And yeah, it was just like a great party. And it gave them an opportunity to bring the horde together and for community members to meet each other and connect with each other. So definitely crazy. And like Button said, one dead friend just costs about $200. So I think it's crazy to think that just a part of that utility is giving you access to go to like these type of super sick in real life events. I mean, if you go to like a Deadmau5 concert, without being part of the community, I mean, that's already a couple of bucks, a couple of $100 right there. So I think it's pretty cool, like the type of utility they provide for their holders.
Yeah, it was an incredible event. I had a great time. They had drinks included, they had food included. I mean, you add it all up, it was very worth it, at least to have a dead friend at minimum. And they token gated it. So you had to have token proof on your phone, scan that in order to get into the event. And yeah, some people got a little scared because, Deadfellaz, they're zombies. So they had like people dressing as zombies. They had scenery that made you feel like you were hanging out in the dead world, and it was very fun. I can't wait for the next one. I'm sure that they're going to have many more to come. The next thing that I wanted to bring up that I'm very excited about them progressing their project forward is that they recently signed with a talent agency. This is a well-known talent agency, UTA, and they're known for setting up collaborations or working together to help bring these brands or previously individuals forward in their career. And so with the Deadfellaz being signed on with this, it's an opportunity for them to get more exposure to the Web2 community or those that aren't involved in NFTs. The more that the brand of Deadfellaz is recognized, the more it benefits those who hold their NFTs. And so I'm very excited about that. And they did one collaboration with a brand called Wrangler, which so far has been enabling a story being part of the Deadfellaz community in which you are deciding what direction the story goes, which is basically cowboys and zombies. And we don't know exactly what the benefits of this collaboration are going to be quite yet, but I think most people are familiar with the brand Wrangler. And if Deadfellaz can ride with Wrangler, no pun intended, to that next level, I think it could be a really great thing to get Deadfellaz next level exposure. Cucho, you wanted to talk about another great benefit of the Deadfellaz that I am also very excited about.
Yeah, something that I think is really cool is that you actually own the commercial license for your Deadfellaz or Deadfriend. So the only thing you can do is use their logo, but other than that, you can do things with your NFTs and like commercialize them. And yeah, community members are getting super creative with it. We just wanted to give a shout out to the three fellas, which actually they started to do a podcast. They, as you can see, like they animated their Deadfellaz and they are doing like a YouTube show. They are doing spaces twice a week. And yeah, they're really using their Deadfellaz to build like their own brand around them, which I think is really cool. And I think that's something that we will see more and more, that people that own NFTs and that own the commercial license for them, that they're actually going to get really creative and how they are using them. So shout out to the three fellas.
Yeah,
Button,
absolutely.
any
I'm a
closing thoughts?
I'm a big fan of not just the three fellas, but everything that the Deadfellaz is doing. I really believe that what is going on with the Deadfellaz long term, with their visions and their partnerships, is heading in the right direction to help them continue to grow. I think that it's a fun project. When I think about what are the top projects right now or the most recognized projects that are accessible with an entry point that's not tens of thousands of dollars, Deadfellaz does come to mind. And I am looking forward to not only seeing how they develop this vision further, but also how the community comes together to build utilizing these tools that are provided from the Deadfellaz. That's my take on it. Kucho, what's your vibe with it?
I mean, like I said, I love the art style. I think it's a super unique collection. And again, it's a team that keeps building. I mean, we are in the bear market, right? But they are announcing partnerships. They are signed by the talent energy agency that creates opportunity for them. We see their community being super active, etc. So I think that's the type of projects you want to be betting on. And definitely a lot of attention moved away from the project. I mean, they've been one of the top projects in the last bull market, but I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of attention is going to go back to the collection. So very excited about what's to come with Deadfellaz and with Betty and Psych how they're gonna lead the projects and what they're gonna come up next.
Absolutely.
So
I couldn't say it any better, Cucho. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate all of our friends tuning in. Feel free to click the like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you about another project next week. Have a great day, everyone.
cheers, everyone.